Okay, good evening, everyone. Merry Christmas to everyone. Yeah, today we had a Christmas Eve lunch, and it's a real feast. Lots of food, lots of people, and we really enjoyed being able to share a good meal with everyone. And thank you very much for sharing your holidays with us. Do you need another clue?
Merry Christmas!
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 师傅，圣诞快乐
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas. Yeah. Yes, go Forrest.
Thank you, Master. On the last day of Foqi, I said to my cultivation, this year is a wonderful year. It not only because I participate 2 times Foqi, it also because I experienced my cultivation help my family and change my life. So there's 2 things I want to share. The first one is about my parents. That's the second one I want to share. So the first one I want to share is about my parents. They live alone in China. My mom is 79. My dad is 88. So after I moved to the United States, I have a lot of worries about them. Before and after pandemic, I back to China every year, but it wasn't always a pleasant experience because my dad judged my life. I guess it's because I'm not rich enough, I'm not successful enough. And my mom always ring on me about my dad. So I always think, oh, it's too much, I cannot take, I want to run away. So every time I'm back home, I just try my best to maintain their quality of life, like took them to a good restaurant and clean the house and do whatever I can. So after pandemic, I realized they cannot live alone anymore. They need help. So I want to move them to a senior apartment, but my dad refused to that. I was angry. I think I was doing something right, but why didn't he listen to me? So I also remember Master told us we help people only they ask for help. So from the last year, I stopped to push my dad. I try to be patient and waiting. So last year, before I back to the United States, I told my parents, if you have any emergency issue, my friend who live in Beijing can help immediately, and I will fly back as soon as possible. But if my dad is ready for moving, just let me know. So in this spring, my dad told me he's ready. I said, okay, I will back in summer. I was released, but also under pressure, because now I need to make a right decision for choosing where to stay for them. And also I need to sell the house. I was worried about what I will face when I return. And I also worry about I probably will be stuck in China for a while because it's not good timing to sell a house. So also my husband planned a 3-week road trip in China. So when I back to China the first day, I talked to a real estate agency and put the house on market. I also contact a senior apartment. That one we have visited before, make an appointment. The next day, I just jumped a plan to start my road trip. So, but surprisingly, just in 10 days, I still was traveling. The house was sold. I think this is simply a miracle for me. So when I back to Beijing, I spent another week to move my parents to a new place, help them settle down, and also clean out the house. And I think the whole process, I don't even have too much afflictions. So I can't believe I survived from the whole things. The senior apartment is very nice. There's staff 24/7 on call. My mom was very happy about that. But I feel my dad still needs some time to adjust himself. But I can understand him better than before, without a judgment. I feel he's just afraid of life changes and death. So I let him be himself and try to see something sweet to comfort him. So now he's getting better and better. So I do believe, I want to thank you, Master. I do believe that's all because you guide me to cultivate, make me stronger, and I can handle the things and also help me to create a lot of blessing. That's the first thing I want to share. Thank you, Master. And I also have another story I want to share. Can I continue?
Sure. Anyone interested? Yeah, they want to hear.
Yeah. The second things I want to share is about detach from a hobby, but you can enjoy it more than before. So my husband and I have been traveling around since we 20s. So when I was young, I like adventure. I feel it makes me special, and also I hope it can change me to be a better person. So at that time, we just earn money and travel. But after I started cultivation, I realized focus on inside of me is a far more effective way to get what I want than looking outward and put myself in a new country. And yeah, so, but at the same time, my husband doesn't cultivate. So he still need travel. It's his outlet. So this summer, when I told Venerables and some people in temple, I'm going to have a 3-week road trip in China, everyone said, wow, that sounds great. I said, no, I don't like it. I don't want it. It wastes my time. So I was selfish at that time. I didn't pay attention on my husband's needs. I was worried. I worry how to deal the family issue. So, but when we finished the road trip, a venerable texted me and asked me, how's Pierce? Is he happy? I said, yes, he's very happy about the trip. And suddenly I realized I'm happy for him. Actually, I enjoyed the trip very much. So all these pictures, I crossed my leg at an altitude of 15,000 feet. We had lunch here, and later we camped there. The second picture, in the middle night, it rained heavily, but we have a lot of fun. So.
Looks like fun to me.
Thank you. So I think when I look back, I have to see. So my cultivation bring the inside peaceful to me. So that make me enjoy my trip more than before. The most things is no too much afflictions. So everything and every people we met during the trip is nice. So I think no one can enjoy a trip with a lot of afflictions. So that's my stories. Now I'm not interested in the article like 50 places you must to visit before you die. So I used to pay attention on things like that, but now I only hope I can get my final destination, BLI, Neighborhood Pure Land. I want to thank you, Master. For my parents, it's a big step. For my parents and me, thank you very much. And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thank you.
Oh, very nice. Thank you for sharing with us. Actually, what do you do for restrooms there?
We only camp 2 nights, so we stay in like a motel in United States. There's a lot of motel and a hotel, even in some remote area.
I see.
So don't worry, it's clean, restroom.
Okay, I'm just curious. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Master. I had a question. Where in is this in China? Like, where is this? Where it's 15,000 feet high? Is that close to Tibet, or where is this?
15,000 is more like near the moon, no?
Yes, it's in Tibet.
That high up, really? Is such a altitude?
They have much higher mountains
Yeah.
than that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the average altitude in Tibet. It's very easy. Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive. Must be cold, huh? And can you breathe up there at that kind of height?
The altitude sickness is a suck. It's worse than leg pain, I think. I spent over 1 week to adjust myself.
Wow. Okay. Well, you see, part of your cultivation that everyone will discover is that as you cultivate, the more you cultivate, the more you understand cultivation, the more actually you get to enjoy life. Life gets more fun, not more restrictive, like more narrow-minded at all. Actually, your path is to engage and benefit others around you. It's a given, okay? Whereas worldly people only know of themselves first, actually at the exclusion of everyone else. For us, it's we learn to benefit ourselves, and in order to enjoy ourselves more, have our lives more meaningful, we try to benefit others. Okay? All right. Anyone else has any thing to share and talk about? No? Okay. I think we had some things we were discussing last night, but I don't remember anymore. Anyone feels that something we need to pick up again or no? Yes, go ahead, one.
I think Jimmy was asking whether in the Pure Land we still remember our past life.
If it's necessary, we'll remember. If it's not necessary, we won't remember. Don't worry about it. Anyone else? Yes, 9.
제가 비행기를 타고 오기 전부터 금식을 해서 이번에 올 때 9일 동안 금식하는 걸로 계획을 하고 왔는데요. 그래서 지금 한 48시간 정도 됐고 앞으로 7일 남았는데 어떻게 해야 될지 깜깜하기도 한데 제가 한 가지 궁금한 것은 여기 금식을 할 때 24시간 동안 230cc로 물을 제한하는 걸로 알고 있는데요. 혹시 그 연유가 어떻게 되는지요?
Hello, Master. This time I planned for 9 days fasting. So starting from the plane, I started fasting. And now it has been 48 hours. And I have 7 days left. And it looks quite far to me right now. My question is, in here, the fasting Dharma is in 24 hours, you limit the drinking of water to around 230 millimeters. And I want to know the reason. Is there a reason for limiting water consume?
Seems to be too much, no? 270 millimeters, 1 cup. 1 cup is about 7-8 ounces, fluid ounces. 250? Okay. We don't know. Basically, it's passed down from Master YongHua. He used to fast out of necessity as an unknown, nervous, sitting and observing filial piety by his mother's grave, he had no choice but fast, because no one would offer him food or drinks. So that's how he developed that knowledge. So by starving himself and putting himself through that, he saw the changes in the body, and that's why he taught us to go through cycles of 9 days. Okay, instead of 7 days, he chose 9 days. That's all we know. I don't know enough to really to really be able to explain to you fully what it means by that. It seems to work. That's all we know. Okay? Anyone else? Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. Sorry, I made a mistake. 8 ounces exactly is 236 cc, and it's a milliliter. But I guess 250 is a roundup number, we were told.
Okay. Well, they're close enough. But it has a way of limiting the kind of water intake you can take, and therefore you have few chances of wasting things through your fluid expulsion. So what it means is that by not taking in a lot of fluid, your body then has a chance to utilize what it has inside itself, all the nutrients and all the stuff there. Okay, that's natural with your body. It doesn't matter. Happens naturally. You don't have to worry about it. All right, anyone else? Okay, back to slide 231. So he's talking about bringing peace to the old people.
我祈祷令他们好，他对我的不孝顺，我为他们祈祷做什么？
I pray for their benefit. They are not even filial towards me. What's the purpose of me praying for them?
Ah, 你要知道，你自己的子女虽然不孝顺，现在世界有很多孝顺的子女来孝顺你。
You should know, even though your own children are not filial, now the world has many filial children who will come and be filial towards you.
所以建一个安老院，请你到这来住。
So we will build a nursing home and invite you to come live here.
请你到这儿早晨帮助你起身，晚间帮助你睡觉，白天又帮助你冲凉大小便。
We invite you to come here in the morning. We will help you get up. At night, we will help you fall asleep. During the day, we will also assist you with showering and assist you with defecating and urinating.
这比自己的子女都好得多啊！所以呀，你不为你自己的子女来祈祷，也应该为世界你的子女来祈祷啊，令世界和平。
This, compared to your own children, is so much better. So you do not pray for your own children. Nonetheless, you should pray for these children of yours that are in the world to make the world peaceful.
啊，你再又应该这么样想啊？为什么我的子女不孝顺我呢？
You should think again like this. Why are my children not filial towards me?
Okay, it seems like to go on and on and on. He's teaching about filial piety, and it's a good thing to have, but certainly a totally foreign concept to Westerners, filial piety. It seems like our parents owe us. We don't need to be filial to our parents. And so Master YongHua has his ideals, and it's wonderful to see that. It's good that he did all these things for us to open our eyes. But when you look at what really happened in the long haul, was it sustainable? No. He talked about opening a elderly place for a retirement home, elderly people, where he'll take care of them. How many of them are there right now that they're operating? How many people have they helped over the years? And that's my attitude. It's good to talk about it. It's a good concept. But instead of trying to do everything ourselves, how about just supporting others to do it? Us Buddhists do not excel at doing charity work, except for the new generations where they need to have causes to do the fundraisers and so forth. But that's usually what's associated with these programs, where they have a good cause. It's publicly appealing to public sentiment, and therefore makes it conducive to fundraising and to broaden the efforts. That's what it takes. Nothing wrong about it, but it's not something that's sustainable from his perspective. Okay? It's nice to keep on talking about good things and right things, but can you do it? Can you sustain it? Is my attitude. To me, it's terrible if I feed you for a week and then I stopped. And I condition you to eating every day for a week and then I hold it back. That would be a terrible, terrible thing. I struggle with that concept. On the other hand, in Catholicism or Christianity, they excel at doing this. We don't have to compete with them. If we really want to make a difference, give them some money to support their soup kitchen, support their charity endeavors. Questions and comments? Yes, too.
YouTube question from Northern California, Daniel. Master, as we engage with the world, how do we best do this without hurting others as least as possible? For example, my crush seems to be reacting well to my interests, but I don't want to hurt her one day.
I don't know how to avoid hurting people's feelings. Feelings are suffering already. How can you avoid it? It's too vague of an issue. Depends on what your goals are, what you have in mind, and what she wants, what you want, and what your vision of the future. You plan to get married, how many children you're going to have, you're going to make filial children or not, and if they're not filial, will you pray for them? There's so many issues. Yes, 5.
There's another aspect to the Western culture that didn't get mentioned, and it's when the parents pressure the children to go out and make it big so they can take care of them when they're older. Like, be successful so you can take care of me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always that as well. Not just a Western culture, but Eastern culture too. It's natural. It's like people expect to be taken care of. Okay, because they need help. You can't blame them. They think like that because that's the best they can do. I think we should be glad that they express it that way. I want you to be successful so that you can take care of me. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but it's just how people are. I don't know about the other cultures, the other countries, but in the US, no one starves. We have so many blessings. The religious institution in this country, especially the Christianity, the Christians and the Catholics are very strong in charity work. I admire that. There's no way we can compare with them. We pale in comparison to the vast and extensive systems. It even goes into corporate America, where, like here in California, one of our famous burger joints, In-N-Out Burger, is owned by a very devout, I believe, Christian family. Okay, and they really believe in what they're doing. To the point where maybe during the pandemic they were printing religious messages in the cups to encourage people. It's a good thing. If you find motivations to help others, it's a good thing. Of course, there's always the bad thing where there's some religious fanatics who are going to the extremes, okay, such as imposing their faith on others and killing those who disagree with them. And those are even smarter. They use our tax money to pay for those weapons and those things to kill their enemies. And we quietly condone it. There's always plus and minuses, folks. In Buddhism, we look at ourselves and ask ourselves, how do I clean up myself? Okay? And avoid passing judgments on others. When others have enough blessings, they will stop hurting themselves and do the right things to benefit themselves. When they don't have enough blessings, it doesn't matter how rich they are, how much power they have, they hurt themselves. They send themselves so quickly to their own downfalls. It's their fault. We all have to answer to that eventually. Okay? So that's why I struggle with these broad messages where, I pray for world peace and I do things to promote world peace and so forth, shake hands to promote more cooperations and so forth. It only sounds good. But if inside the people, religious leaders who don't understand better, are not willing to teach their followers to change for the better, it's all talk. The ego, if you are not careful, will misbehave eventually. That's the nature of the ego. So in Buddhism, we realize that, and that's why we try to rein in the ego as much as possible. Okay? And once you're able to rein it in, there's hope for you to be able to truly know happiness. I watched it. I watched how many of my students evolved the last 19 years, and how full of themselves they are, so sure of themselves, so righteous. And eventually, they change. Once there's hope for them, once they get to the point where the ego is reined in, then good things begin to happen through these people. For me personally, it's not talk. I watched it, I witnessed it, I observed it in so many of you. You see, so the attitude of worldly people says, how come you're not filial to me? How come you don't help me? It's me, 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 me. The basis of the attitude is, I'm most important. Okay? And that's a problem. Yes, too.
From Northern California, Daniel. Would one way to avoid hurting others be to have strong self-control and be thorough with how all my decisions and actions affect those around me?
Maybe. The best way not to hurt others is not to have an ego. As long as you have an ego, you are not dependable. One day you can be the most generous and virtuous person, and next moment you could just be the opposite. That's the nature of the ego. It's totally unpredictable. Anyone else? Only you can rein yourself in, no one else. No one is interested in running your lives. We're too busy ourselves. All right, anyone else? Okay, continue, please. It's a different generation, I guess, different message. Maybe I'm too cynical, or I hear these messages in a long time ago from people like great Master YongHua, and the Catholics and Christians and the Pope and so forth. It sounds good, world peace and celebration of God and so forth. But ultimately, if inside of you are so unhappy, you can't make anyone else happy. You can't even make yourself happy. How can you possibly help anyone else? Your children, your husband, your parents. Basic fundamentals no one wants to talk about. We all want to talk about world peace and harmonies and filiality. But no one talks about how unhappy we are internally. It's like they're on slide 237 here. He says, how come that I need to pray for my children? I gave him so much already. And give some more. Because no one dares tell these people, you should give more and more and more. Stop asking. Stop wondering why. Why would you want to do that? That's how you rise above your own mediocrity. Because no one ever taught you that. If I could just get each and every one of you to look at yourself and say, I don't like this part of me, let me get rid of it. That, to me, is a lot more productive, will bring a lot more peace to the world than you praying for world peace. So everyone sits there expecting these two monks to go up and down the coast and pray for world peace. Oh my God, see, we support them. This is such a good cause. Everyone talks and talks and talks. No one does anything. When something doesn't go the way, they blame someone else. How come? How come you don't do this? How come you don't do that? When are we going to wake up to that? How else can we relate this message? Please teach me. I know no one wants to hear it. No one's impressed. I said, how come this guy talks about nonsense? This is Christmas Eve. Can't we talk about something pleasant, something enjoyable? Something more popular? But look at all these people in Korea, it's their Christmas day, and they took the time to run away from the family, snuck away from the family, come to the temple. Certainly, our temple is not to tell them everything is okay. We want our temple. We go to our temple. We seek for more peace, for more bliss, so that we can bring it home. Recharge ourselves. Okay, continue, please.
Oh, 原来我对我的父母也没有孝顺过，所以我的子女也不孝顺我。
Oh, it turns out that I was also not filial towards my parents, so my children are also not filial towards me.
现在我要生大忏悔心，我的子女对我好不好？我对他们一定要好。
Now I must bring forth a mind of great repentance and remorse. Whether my children treat me well or not, I must be good to them.
不但对他们好，对我自己的子女好，对世界一切的子女都好。
Not only be good to them, or be good to my own children, but also good to all the children of the world.
我要老吾老以及人之老，幼吾幼以及人。
I want to care for my immediate elders and extend that care to the elders of others.
之幼
Care for my immediate youth and extend that care to the youth of others.
我是个老人呐，我就要尊重一切老人。
I am an elderly person, so I ought to respect all elderly people.
我这个爱我的子女，用这种爱心呢，爱世界上一切的子女。
I love my children. I will use this type of love to love all children in the world.
要这样子，这个世界很快就和平了。
If we do this, the world will be at peace very soon.
Okay. So, he's coming to the same conclusion as I do. He says, stop blaming others. Just do the right things. That's all the reason you need. Is many of us have a sense of propriety, have a sense of righteousness already. We know what's right. It's the right thing to do. Okay? And therefore, this is why we're here. We're here to reinforce it for you. That there are many more like you who are willing to do the right things, at times at the cost of great personal costs. And we're still willing to do it because it's the right thing to do. This is why, this is how a country like the United States came about, or your countries came about, because there's some great sacrifices that were made, because it's the right thing to do. There's some leaders who had a vision, who say, I will take care of my people. because I must. That's all. And when you do that, you don't need reinforcement. You don't need accolades. You don't need people to recognize you as a world peace promoter. And so 238 here it says, I don't care if my children appreciate it or not. I still help them. They don't need to be good to me, but I will be good to them. That's what parents are supposed to do. That's what the seniors are supposed to do. Because children, they don't understand. They deserve to receive, just like we received from our seniors already ourselves. We don't even remember, do we? And that's the spirit. You don't remember the kinds of kindness and sacrifices were made in order to help us. You don't even know any names. Remember any faces. And that's what is supposed to happen. Okay? And so he seems to be harping about taking care of elderly people. It's not a bad thing to do. But nowadays, it's not just elderly people, but also poor people, handicapped people, all sorts of people. It's endless. And that's why I feel that we may have our own struggles, but don't lose sight of the fact that when things are more under control for ourselves, I think it makes sense to reach out and help others who are helping the children of the world, who are helping the elderly of the world. Okay? Maybe we can't help them right now, but let's make a promise to ourselves that in the future, when we can, we should share. Okay? Let's not lose sight of that. It's not always about ourselves. We're patiently building the foundation of goodness, first to help ourselves, our families, our friends, people we care and owe to, and then eventually help even more. It takes hard work. It's not about making a lot of noises, drawing a lot of attention to ourselves. It's hard work. It's grinding it out every day, helping when we have a chance. And many of you are doing it already. And I know many of you are quietly supporting the temple, making a lot of sacrifices to support the temple. I really am very grateful for that. And let me assure you, it's not forgotten. I remember, because I make it a mission in my life to make sure one day my students are strong enough. They can help a lot more people than just you. So instead of talking about, I want to help me, youth, and so forth, okay, I'm trying to share with you a vision, this drive to say one day, okay, I will do more and more and more. If I can't, if I run out of time, I hope that my students would take over the mantle and continue it quietly. We don't brag about it. We don't advertise ourselves. Quietly go out and help more and more and more. Because you know what? Okay, we'll have enough. Yes, K YouTube.
네, 현보스님 카톡 봐주세요. 아미타불 마스터 늘 건강하시길 부처님께 기원드립니다. 질문 드립니다. 자식을 잃은 어머님께는 어떤 위로의 말을 해줄 수 있을까요? 어린 자식을 잃은 어머님은 행복하지는 않지만 그런대로 자신의 삶을 살아가는데 성인이 된 자식을 잃은 어머님은 10년이 지난 지금도 눈에 눈물이 그렁그렁 하시고 너무나도 불행하게 살고 계십니다. 집에 가만히 있을 수 없어 들로 쏘다니십니다. 저는 지혜가 없어서 어떤 위로의 말을 해드려야 할지 모르겠습니다. 정말 그 슬픔에서 벗어나게 해드리고 싶은데 그 어머님들의 마음을 제가 감히 10분의 1이라도 헤아릴 수가 있을까요? 어머님들이 슬픔에서 벗어나서 자신들의 삶을 즐겁게 사실 수 있도록 마스터께서 좋은 법문으로 도와주시길 부탁드립니다. 감사합니다.
This is a question from YongHua. Emitofuo Master, I wish you are always healthy. I pray to Buddha that you will be always healthy. I have a question. How can we say a word of consolation to the mother who lost their child? The mothers who lost the young child, they won't be very happy, but they still can live their lives. But the mother who lost the adult child, even after 10 years has passed, she still cries. In her eyes, there is always tears, and she's so unhappy. And she cannot stay in her house, so she goes here and there everywhere. And I don't have any wisdom, so I don't know how to make it up to her. So I really want her to get out of her sadness, but how can I grasp her mind who lost her child, like even 1/10 of a sadness? So I want those mothers could escape their sadness and live their own happy lives. So I wish Master can guide them with the good Dharma. I hope you help them. Thank you.
Well, each person have their own style of helping, their own beliefs, ways of helping. I remember when I first started, it was very popular for the senior monks, especially Thai monks or Hinayana monks, Sri Lankan monks, to organize these, or even Tibetan monks, to organize these world praying conferences where they brought a lot of monks and nuns together, possibly under some tents, and then pray for world peace, pray for this, pray for that. It used to be real popular. I don't know what happened to those things nowadays. It's sort of fell out of favor because it's boring. It's the same thing. It's exciting at first, but then if you do it every year, then you lose the cachet, you lose the mystique. Okay, and then Buddhist disciples are drawn to that. They're drawn to things that make a lot of noise and draw a lot of attention. And that's what you could do. You could try, go to your Tibetan lamas and ask them to pray for the mother, for the sons, and so forth. And that's what the Buddhist world is used to. You have a problem, you go to the temple and ask the temple to pray for you and support the prayers. To me, it's sad to see that after all these years of teachings, and this is an indication that these followers are basically of the Hinayana persuasion. Hinayana people, they are ill-equipped to face death. That's why they don't know how to prepare for death at all themselves, their entire lives. They live fearful of death. And then when death comes, they don't know what to do. It's always prayer and prayer and prayer and prayer. It's because they were not taught properly how to face death, how to prepare for death, what death really is. And that's why when death occurs in a family, people are very unhappy and don't know what to do with it. It may sound like cliche, but if you are not prepared for death, you're not prepared for life. If you're afraid of death, then you cannot have a good life. So for this particular person these people who lost their children, lost their loved ones, and they're distraught about it, it's understandable. But their teachers, their religious teachers, should know better. I should teach them before they have such losses to prepare for it. And know how to help the deceased if such losses occur. Because in Buddhism, life and death is but a continuum. Your body, when conditions are there, will function. When the conditions cease to happen, then the body will disintegrate. That's all. to us it's not a big deal. Okay, life is a temporary union of conditions, and then death is just disintegration of those conditions. That's all. So if you understand, you have that kind of viewpoint, then death is an opportunity for you to improve yourselves. So this particular person should go to the temple, go somewhere and ask the temple to pray for the deceased, because being distraught, missing someone so badly is a personal thing, but it doesn't do anything for the deceased. More needs to be said or not? Yes, one.
Thank you, Master. I was curious if people ruminate about the passing of their loved ones and are constantly sort of focused and occupied by this in their life, does that harm the deceased in any way with this constant dwelling of this idea?
Not necessarily, but it could be harmful. Because when someone dies and you, during the 49 days afterward, you express a lot of emotional attachments, it makes it difficult for them to go to a better lot. So it's very complicated. It's more than just that. But it's normal for people to experience bereavements and feel emotional about it. That's normal. That's a normal thing. That's the things we do to each other to keep ourselves, all of us, together in this will reincarnation, like it or not. It happens that you're emotional, and which causes the deceased to come back. Like you hear so many such stories in the Buddhist folklores, where the grandma dies and the son her favorite grandson is too young, so she says, I hate to see you, leave you like this, who's going to take care of you? And grandson says, Grandma, don't leave me. And sure enough, the grandma comes back as his girlfriend. Instead of going to the Pure Land and get liberated and move on to a better lot, no, she came back into servitude. That's what we do to each other constantly. That's why it's called will reincarnation. That's normal. That's the short answer. Yes, A.
Master, I do 100% agree that we should do something to help the
the mom and the deceased, whatever it is, plaque, praying, transferring merits, bring them to relics show if they're open to it, introduce to the Dharma. On the other hand, I also think we need to watch out if we are too attached to help. I just personally feel that if we are too attached to help, and everybody has their own karma, everybody has their own suffering, there's only so much we can do. If we're too attached, we might be losing our way or feeling frustrated if we don't get better, and maybe imposing things on them because we're too eager to help. That's just my feeling. I don't know if it's right or not.
You are so practical, so realistic. It's disgusting. He's talking about, I respect all elderly people. I want to help all children. Okay, not just my own. Here you are, another Chinese person who repudiates that. They say, no, that's unreasonable, and that could be overwhelming for a lot of people. So, where's the middle way?
I'm not against helping. I do think we want to help, but we also need to embrace the fact that the way it works is not necessarily affected by the little efforts we make. So if it's not going our way, should we be feeling frustrated, angry, or...
So what are we supposed to do? Say this is not practical, therefore...
No, keep helping, but embrace that's not entirely in our control.
So how much help are we supposed to do? This is my ultimate question to you. You say, okay, it's unreasonable. So what's reasonable to you?
I think attachment introduced affliction. Just remove that. Just keep helping. No end.
You're not answering yourself.
I'm not answering myself.
So how much am I supposed to help? See,
no
I'm not very smart like you. Just tell me how much.
Keep helping. Keep helping as long as it's deemed necessary.
But then you just told me that it's not reasonable to keep helping.
I say that?
Yes.
I take that back.
Oh my God, this woman is standing on no principles.
I don't remember I said that. I think I said no attachment. I just think attachment will confuse us. Then we become like we want to help.
I hear you. And this is a very good point. I struggle with this too. I said, there's beyond reasonable. Where's our commitment to our family? Okay? That has to come first. And then you ask me to help. And this woman in Korea, and then another person in Tibet, another person in Vietnam, person in, whatever. Okay? What do I stop?
I think what I did not say clearly, I think it's the attachment to the result of the help.
You never said that.
That's what I'm correcting myself now. I think what I'm saying is don't be attached to the result of our help. Just keep helping.
Okay, then I can buy into it. Okay. We can never help enough. That's the bottom line. It's always inside of us. He says, I can do more. I want to do more. That's what happens to us. Okay, for most of us, I want to do more. Because, once you get started, you like it. It's only because people don't allow themselves to get started. That's why they miss out on all this Buddha nature of theirs. Okay? Because What we're teaching you is about helping out of kindness and compassion. Don't worry about whether it's practical, whether it's so forth. By all means, I'm teaching you to avoid all the noise, drawing all the attention, okay? But this is what people, the world are doing nowadays. And they want Master to know about it. They want the world to know that we are a real good organization and that we are doing good things. We can't care less. We help because we have a chance to help out of kindness and compassion. It's internal. If we feel like we still want to do more, do more. That's all. Bottom line is, the more you help, the kinder you become. The more compassion you have. That's all. It's to your benefit. Don't worry about recognition. Don't worry about results. It's irrelevant. And that's what I saw in so many of you. We may be poor, we may be limited in resources, but our spirits are limitless. Our kindness are limitless. Our compassion is limitless. It only keeps growing. Yes, it's pretty tiny right now, but it keeps growing and growing and growing. That's what we're about. Okay? So that's what our path is. It's about sharing things we have out of kindness and compassion. Just trying our best. Yes, some of us are phony, are fakes. We know that, but it's okay. Give them plenty of time to change, to improve. Just like children need to be nurtured, that's all. And they can choose, make their own choices. Okay. I have to respect all elderly people. It's just like, it's okay to do these things, but I'd rather teach you about respecting everyone. It doesn't have to be elderly people. Okay, I want each and every one of you to look at another person with respect. Doesn't matter who this person is. Could be black and white. Could be like he walk around, he can't even, he can't even have a good control his own body. Clearly he's suffering. He can't handle it. We still respect this person. Okay? They have to be elderly people. Love my children. Extend this love to or love all children in the world. I find it hard to believe that I can love others, people, children. I don't know about you. Okay? How about just loving my children with everything I have? And when you do that, you naturally love all the other children who come near them. I have all these, I'm really kind of cynical in that sense when we say I love all the children of the world. Some of the children I cannot stand. I'm sorry. I will never be able to love all the children of the world. I don't care what people say. Okay. But the children who are nice to my children, I love them all my heart. Can we stick with that? That's good enough. Okay? They all sound too good to me that for me, as someone who never had children, find it hard to believe, hard to understand that kind of mindset, that kind of heart. Okay? But if you have wisdom, naturally you love your children. If you really want to love your children, you know what's the best way to do that? Is open your wisdom. Don't use just words. Say, I love my children with my life, with my heart and my soul. It's a lot of words. Love them with your wisdom. If you're able to open your practice of wisdom, then you understand what love really means. What it really means to love a child. Yes, too.
From Diego, Emitofuo Master, can these beings after death come back as ghosts because they are so attached to their families and loved ones? I've heard so many things like that.
Absolutely, it's very, very possible. They come back as ghosts. Hey girls, would you like to have some of these? It's this time of the year. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Hey, careful. You take your pick. Yeah? Okay. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. See, it's always popular. I'm not into populist things, but even now and then I'm not above it. Okay. Love all the children in the world. How nice. And the world soon will be at peace. See? What do you want? Your love should become something that brings happiness in them. Instead of talking about it, they should be happy themselves. They should feel loved. Not us. We don't matter. How about you, young lady? Would you like one? No? Go pick one. Come pick one. Okay? We yielded to the young ones. Now your turn. We deal a little bit. Take your pick. Which one would you like? This one? Are you sure? Okay. Merry Christmas. Okay, now adults. Okay, very good. The world will be at peace very, very soon, according to Master YongHua. Excuse me, he said that 50 years ago. What's 50 years? Okay. I think that's the next section, isn't it? Okay, continue. A few more minutes.
世界为什么不和平？就因为人人都太自私了。
Why is the world not at peace? Simply because everyone is too selfish.
人人呢，贪心也很大，嗔心也不小，痴心呢，更比什么都多。
Everyone, their greed is also big, their anger is also not small, and their stupidity, it's even greater than anything else.
所以啊，搞得这个世界就不和平了，不平安了。
So this has messed up the world so that it is not at peace, not safe.
你们现在呀，这种神圣的工作，这种最高的工作，我现在呀，交给你们去做去，你们。
You, right now, this kind of sacred work, this kind of supreme work, I am now handing it to you for you to go do it.
无论欢喜的也要工作，不欢喜的还要工作。
Regardless of whether you like it, or do not like it, you have to work.
欢喜不欢喜同时进行这种的工作。
Like it or not, you all simultaneously carry out this kind of work.
希望这个世界明天就没有战争，明天就平安无事。
I hope that tomorrow there will be no more wars in this world. Tomorrow, this world will be safe and sound.
Okay, so Master YongHua has a lot of big aspirations for his disciples. Okay, why aren't we at peace? Is the world not at peace? Because we all too selfish. Okay, and you know it's funny. The last month or so, all of a sudden, even in spite of my struggle with the flu there, and trying to deliver lectures every night. It dawned on me that the world is going. It's getting so bad now because it started with Russia, with the Jews, and now it's official. It makes sense for you to invade other countries to get land. We're coveting each other's land and natural resources. The Chinese did a smart thing. They invested in the natural resources decades ago. Okay, and now the Americans are getting smart. They are simply invading, encouraging wars and so forth, and using tanks and airplanes and so forth. It's a natural evolution of the nature of the greed of the world. Where does it end? So it's driven by greed, the greed for more resources, the greed for more land, greed for more power. They justify it by using anger. When someone does something wrong, they vent the anger, okay, and they send the armies over to kill and kill and kill. And they justify their actions. The land grabs, resource grab. With their own rationales, which is totally stupid. But that's life. That's the nature, the times nowadays, folks. Is it just me, or seems to me that's the attitude nowadays. If, like, Putin gets away with it after a few years now, the Israelis getting away with it, what's stopping the rest of the world? These people get away with it. What are we supposed to do? Might as well join the party. It's a new trend, folks. It's going to become more chaotic. That's all. No more rules. It's all about each one for himself. So it's because of the three poisons that the world is so messed up, no longer safe and peaceful. And so Master YongHua says, you need to do this work. Go and do it. Is it what we are? Okay, what a way to spend Christmas Eve together. Let's take over the world. No? Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. I think it's meaningful in this Christmas Eve, we spread out a little bit more kindness and do a little bit more good and to change the world. Thank you.
Thank you. It's not about changing the world, it's about changing ourselves. Stop blaming others. The Russian will be Russians. The Jews will be the Jews. They're too smart. They're outsmarting everyone else. Okay? We all have our strengths and weaknesses. Stop blaming others. It's just looking at ourselves. Let's cleanse ourselves. Let's get rid of our ego, which is the source of all the evil in the world. Let's start with that. Okay? If you really want to make a difference in your own community, in your own family, start with that. Start cleaning up yourself, becoming less egotistical, be kinder, be more compassionate, and be more helpful. That's all. And things will take care of themselves. There always will be, doesn't matter how bad it is, there's always be pockets where islands where people will be safe and stick to their beliefs and do what's right. Don't expect the rest of the world to appreciate it, to do the same thing as we do. It's not that important. We need to respect them enough to do what they need to do. If they need to invade someone, go steal someone from someone, so be it. It's beyond us. But how about you establishing these islands, these places, these forts where people can come and feel safe and practice and nurture this energy of goodness, of doing right things. There are lots of such places, I assure you. Okay? Thank you, everyone. Merry Christmas.